Okie dokes. So this is where we are right now for most of you. At least half the pant, correct? And what we're keeping in mind right now is the stroke size is 2 points. Anything seams and pockets is 1 point. Correct? Okay. We're gonna do again the top stitch. The good news about the top stitches is very straightforward. Okay? Okay. So, click on your selection tool, which is V. Why? Because I want to select the entire line. I am gonna press Alt or Option if you have a Mac. And you see already, let me zoom it in. We did this before. If we click on the line and we press Option, you notice that my cursor is changing to 2 little arrows. It's copying it without me doing copy and paste, copy and paste. And just bring it up. If I press Shift at the same time pressing Option, everything is gonna be lined up. And I let it go. There you go. So I do the same thing here, up, and I let it go. Now this one right here, those two, I'm gonna select it, and then put 0.5 and put dash. This is good. I think I can do better than that. I'm gonna do 0.25, just because I feel like it looks better. Especially because we're gonna have 2 rows of stitches. Okay, so we did that waistband. Now we're gonna do the stitching for the pockets. So the same thing, I'm gonna select it with V, as in Victor, and then hovering, I'm gonna use the Alt. Yes. Yeah, we're gonna do it right now. So you notice that it's not the same line. So that's when I go into my direct selection and just move things a little bit with my arrows, okay? I need this to look good. This is an edge stitch. There's other ways to do this, guys. Now, okay, so moving this, you notice that my line is going again. I move it with my arrows to the inside of the line. Remember direct select too. Okay, so we're here. There are 2 ways to do this, to do the lines, which is we go to a stroke, which is the window. We go to stroke. We go, I think I put 0.5. No, I think it was 0.25, sorry. I put 0.25 and I put dash. This is the trick, guys. You see right here in this section where it says dash 1 point and space 1 point. That's what I want. Now, if you want a different dash, that's fine. I'm not gonna take points of it. I just need you to be consistent with your stop stitches. If you're gonna use 2 and 1 or whatnot, be consistent throughout the whole sketch, okay? Okay, so while we have that selected, we're gonna go back to our direct selection tool, and we're gonna copy it again by hovering. This time, you can see the angle's a lot better. And we're just gonna use direct selection tool and we're gonna bring those stitches in. Okay? Now, we're gonna do the pocket because guess what? The pocket has stop stitch too. Everything has almost double stop stitch. We're gonna do this. We're gonna once again click it, press Option, double it. Fastest way to do top stitch, once you do 1 top stitch, you can go to eye drop right here and just click on the line you want to copy. Done. So you don't have to do all the stroke things. As long as you have 1, you can copy, you're fine. So that's what we're gonna do. In this case though, I need to make sure that this is a little longer. That's fine. Okay, this is looking cute. The other part that I'm missing is the hem. Okay, the good news is I already used the same stroke. Usually what Illustrator automates things. So it will use the same, if you're doing a new line, it will use the same stroke that you did last, okay? So there you go. I have all of this done already. It is done, guys. Why? Because why am I not putting the placket, the button first? Because there's only 1 button, 1 placket, and it's on 1 side. So if I were to copy this and put the placket, I will have 2 plackets. Does that make sense? So that's why I'm gonna complete the pan first. So I'm just gonna click, I'm gonna select everything with my direct select tool. Right underneath the rotate tool, if you press and hold, there's a reflect tool. Click on the reflect tool. If you're not sure where it is, let's go back. You're not sure where reflect tool is. Underneath the rotate tool, you can always hover with your cursor. Click and hold, reflect tool. Double click, make sure it's vertical, and you can even put preview to see you're correct. Copy. It's already selected. I'm gonna change my tool to the selection tool again. Click on my selection, and with pressing V, I'm gonna move this around. It's perfection now. You can even zoom in. Look at that. Everything's matching. Okay? Actually, I made a mistake, by the way, but we're gonna fix it together. I forgot the belt loop. Oops. So what happens when that happens? I already did this. You can either go back, I don't feel like it today, or you can add it right now. So what we're gonna do is marquee. We're just gonna make it. And if you press D, it gives you default. Now, it's like one filling white, fine. Now, if you have this kind of stroke, that's fine. You can always just go to your line and just eyedrop it. But I don't want to see the bottom. You just fill it in with white. That's it. Oh yeah, we're gonna do it again. So no problem. So we go to marquee because I'm not drawing a rectangle. We have marquees, guys, and we have circles and all this stuff. Correct? No, we didn't. In the beginning, the first lesson was to get used to how to draw a box. Remember? How to draw the circle. This is when it comes handy. Not the pen. It's just a rectangle. We're not doing a fancy loop. Just a rectangle. We're going to click the marquee, which is M. And if you don't see it, it's because maybe it's hidden. So sometimes you have to click and just select rectangle too. So we're going to click and drag where we want it. I want it right here. You can see my top stitching's there. If your top stitching is not there, that's okay. You just take out the dash out of the line and make sure you have a fill here. What do? You see the white right there at the bottom? Just fill it in. That's it. That's all you need to do. And then I'm gonna add my line, one line on top of it. But then selecting, use your eyedrop. Your eyedrop, just, if you select the line, you can select the line that you want to make it to without doing much. And then I copy it by make sure it's selected, and with option, and there you go. I am not going to show what groups are, but you don't have to group things. What does that mean, guys? I don't want to make it more complicated, but we are a little bit, okay? So, but you don't have to do it for the homework. If I select, okay, like what about, oh, Professor, I need to make sure, how am I going to copy this? And I have to select each one and all that stuff. How do I make sure that everything stays the same and doesn't move from one side to the other side, correct? Select all of these. You do Command G or Control G, or you go into, where are you? You go into Object and you put Group. I'm going to do this again. I select all of them and I put Group. I unclick it. This is what I want you to see. Look, all of them are friends now. What happens if I put the wrong group together? You can click the object, make sure it's everything selected, and you put Ungroup. Now they're separated. Okay, now I'm going to select it again. I'm going to show you again. Object, Group. This is good. That's it. So now I just need to copy this. I don't need to worry about if they're moving, shifting, or anything. I just go and hover, select it, and pressing Alt, I can just bring it in, matching the same position. Of course, you can do better than me. And just do it before you reflect it too. It's up to you. I just made that mistake, let's just say, as a teaching moment. Okay, so there you go. Now we're gonna do the middle. We're not doing the fly, we're not doing the zipper. We're not sketching the zipper today. The fly is on, usually the fly is not on this side. This is actually men's pants. I mean, this is women's pants with an opening of the men's, but we're just following the sketch. It's okay. So then we're just literally gonna get the center and draw it. You're not doing it straight. Maybe we want like the bottom, we just want like a little bit of a dip.
You said you're not doing the zipper.
No, we're not doing the zip. No. Next week I'll show you how to do a zipper. You can do zippers all day if you want to. But today I think it's too much information. So then we're gonna do that. I just want you to understand that. You see, this is right, you see the opening of the zipper? It's right in the middle. The zipper should also be in the middle, but you don't see the zipper, the real zipper. So then the stitching is off to the side. So that's what we're gonna do now. We do that, and that's it. You can do just a straight line if it's easier for you guys. So now we're gonna we learn how to do these things. We do a box, we just do a square or rectangle, that's it. How do I make this rounded without doing too much work? I direct select, and I think some of you got acquainted with the little circle that shows you in the point when you click on a right angle and you pull it. That's it, done. And then if you wanna change the top stitch, you click on it, use your eyedropper, I for eyedropper, click it. That's it. I think it has double stitches. You know how to copy and paste now, yes.
What size do you double stitch?
Yeah.
What size is it?
My size is 0.25, and then that's the weight of the stroke, and the dash size is 1 by 1. And there you go. Now, this is why I also like to do layers. I go back to my layers, and I unclick the viewable option of the bottom. Doesn't it look cute now? Now, we know about groups. I can have groups within groups. So I'm gonna select this entire thing and Command G, group it. Why? Because now I can move it around. Look, I haven't even selected it. I just select directly any of the lines and their friends. It just helps. I'm gonna add a little bit of wrinkles from the knee. Yeah, we have to be fancy. So we're gonna be a little more fancy today. You don't have to add your wrinkles. Actually, it's okay. If this will be the minimum for the homework for you to submit it. This will be the minimum, okay? That. For anyone that wants to do more things in Illustrator, you click on the line and you make it with your pen tool. Guess what? Do you see at the bottom of the stroke there's uniform? If you click on it, you can get different, it's like between having a ballpoint or a brush pen. And you click it, you change it, and you can even make this bigger. Look at the difference now. You see it goes to nothing, it's tapered. So I make really pretty strokes. And there you go. Last week we did shadows, and you can even change the width if you want to. Maybe like one point was too heavy, maybe that. And then the other part too is maybe I want to make sure I have filled in shadows inside. So I just do that. That's it. Now, most pants have a crotch, so one way to do it in sketching really quickly, you just do this. And remember, a reminder is, guys, that you can have your friends, oh, it has stashes. So what happens if it has stashes? You select all of these, and you take out the dash. There you go, done. Now this one right here is blocking that line. So what we do, we click it, and we did it for the last assignment with the shirt. We just multiply. That's it, done. If you want to even be more fancy, you can do an oval, an ellipse or whatnot, and just put it on the back. And just use this to move it. Use your direct select tool. You see how much it's covering? No, I can push this to the back. We did this too. Control, while it's selected, Control, or right click for most of you. Arrange, send to back. Look at the difference now. It has movement. Once again, look, one of my sketch is a little bit only grouped here, but not the rest. So what do? I select everything and group. There you go. This is now, friends. Why am I grouping? Because let's just say I want to be able to, oh, but it's getting really hard for me to select those lines. Okay, if that's the case, you double click. You notice this popped up. You're isolating. You can isolate to the stroke. Look, you see that? To the stroke. If you keep double clicking, if you're in a group and you have so many lines and you want to just work on one thing, you can isolate. So we're working ourselves a little bit by little bit. So last week we introduced it. This week we're really using it. Okay? Okie dokes. So it's up to you what you want to do. If you really want to go even more fancy, and you want to make sure you want to fill it in, we did this with the t-shirt. We go to Pathfinder. And we click on the unite. In other words, everything's merged. It's like someone put tape into those little points. So everything's reading one, okay? And ta-da. Now, I'm having issues with that, and that's okay, because we're going to isolate it, and we're going to just erase it. We don't need that. That's okay. So, but you see, when I click on it, it's the entire perimeter. I'm going to make this a magenta because I want to. Look what happened here. What happens when this happens? Same thing. It's arrangement, guys. Control, arrange, send to the back. Done. Same thing. I want these to change. I click it. I select it. I change it. I want these to blend into the background. I click it. I just click, isolate it until I see the opacity option, and I go into multiply.
How exactly do you isolate?
You just double click it. Yes, double click it really fast. Don't even wait. Just do. And that's it. This pant now looks a lot more stylized. Okay? But as a reminder, I don't want to scare everybody. This is good for the homework. This one right here. This one is okay for homework. But if you want to go the extra step and get used to all the tools, you can try to do all of these extra steps. Okay? Yeah, Nani. Okay, perfect. So that's one way. And the best part is that try to do at least a group somewhere. And I say this because it will save your life a lot of, look, I can move it. I don't even have to select all of them. I just click on it and it moves. Huge difference. Imagine doing a whole layout of like 20 sketches and they're not grouped. What do you do? Exactly. So this is why we do this, okay? Okay.